The Mike and Tony Show is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised.
I just literally say whatever the fuck I want. This is Jordan Huey. I'm a singer-songwriter. Just kidding. And you're fucking with the Mike and Tony Show.
Episode 203. It's a Saturday morning. How are you, Pierce?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm gravy.
Great. You're in the in-between phase of work?
Yeah.
So you, hey, what are you doing, by the way? I'm very curious. And your time off, like, how are you spending it? What does an average day off look like for Mike Pierce, the busybody?
Average day off for me. Well, yesterday I played golf.
Okay, that sounds right.
Monday,
that checks out.
Monday I played golf.
Checks out.
So, no, I've just been relaxing, man.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, before that, having this kind of transition is nice because you don't have to worry about finishing out a job. And you don't have to worry about the stresses of like, oh, okay, now I got to start a new job.
Yes.
And so, yeah, it's been nice to kind of just take this off. And like I was saying, and in all honesty, going through it and when you're thinking about jobs and transitioning and taking that time off, because we'd have the conversations about, are you going to put in your 2 weeks? What are you going to do? And And, I had told Dollar my new philosophy on work life, and it's not being a dick, it's not being a jerk, it's the reality, right? You give a job 2 weeks, right? That's the courtesy they say, give the job 2 weeks and but a job doesn't give you 2 weeks.
Oh no.
If they're done with you. If you're done with, if the job is done with you, they will immediately get rid of you that day.
Absolutely.
And so, because your performance is bad or whatever, anything like that. And so my last one, is just, I felt like their performance was bad for me. And so I fired them.
Yeah. And I remember us talking about this.
like that.
We talked about it like 10 years ago, that's the way that the market was going for employees, right?
Yeah.
It's just what it is. So,
But yeah, it's been nice. It's
been so nice. Are you sleeping in or anything?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Every day?
What's
sleeping in for you though?
like 8:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty nice. Yeah.
The musician over here is looking at you like, that's sleeping in.
I get up at 2:15 in the afternoon.
Oh, that voice we have not heard on the podcast in a very long time. I think it was under 100 episodes then still when the last time this guy was on. This is one of my best friends in the world. I've known you for so long. An incredible musician, incredible producer, singer-songwriter, lots of experience under his belt, tremendous amount of experience, got his start in California, and is still out there doing music today at the ripe age of 68, bro, and still moving like you're 24, looking like you're 24. As you were telling us before the show, getting the ladies coming after you like you're 24.
Yeah,
the great David Freshy Freshman. Yeah.
Hi guys.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
It's good to see you guys both. Yeah.
We don't talk a lot. We haven't talked a lot in a long time. We started catching up the last week maybe.
Yeah. Couple weeks. Yeah, it's fantastic.
How have things been? Talk to me. What have you been up to?
Well, you talk about, I've had a lot of change this year. Due to my health, I had to resign from teaching for the city of Aurora.
I remember that.
Teaching guitar. I'd been doing that for 6.5 years. And I taught, my bosses told me I taught 448 people during that time period.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But with my health, guys, I no longer have any immune system at all, none. So I can't teach with 8 to 12 or 15 children in a class because they get sick and.
Oh, do they?
Little petri dishes.
Yeah,
little
for
petri dishes
sure.
of illnesses.
For sure.
Yeah. I've had COVID 6 times.
Oh, geez.
Even though I've had every shot and booster you can get, but I have no immune system. None. I'm just really fortunate to be here. I take 42 pills a day.
Jeez, that's more than me.
Yeah, you got Pierce over here beat with all his supplements. And
So,
wow.
How many? Talking about, the past, I had a great career at, for instance, Great West Healthcare. And I had to resign that job. That was back in January 2007. And it was sad because I loved my work. I'd been in healthcare 35 years teaching. I mean, not teaching, but, well, sort of teaching. But
that's what you were doing when I met you.
Yeah, as a senior financial data analyst, project manager, making, a lot of money, about $96K a year. Today I live on Social Security and play and, have a beautiful wife and daughter and just keep on plugging along, little puppy.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. How'd that cat get in here?
Yeah, I hope not. I'm allergic to cats. My eyes are about to puff right up. I was really happy when we connected the other day because I've told you I'm looking to get out back in the scene and play music. And it made me laugh the way you put it because I was telling you, I said, it's funny, you take a few years out and I'm not connected anymore. I don't know any of the people. And how I can try to remember how you phrased it. I think you said, I got my hand in the cauldron, Anthony. I believe you said. And for the listeners too, if you haven't heard an episode in a long time, like this are one of the older episodes with Fresh, he always calls me Anthony. I went through a phase in my life, which we talked about here on the show a few times, where I decided I was going to go by my full given name, which is Anthony. And I started doing it on stage. I started doing it everywhere. And then about a year later,
and everything.
Yeah, everything. And then a year later, I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to just go back to Tony. And I did, but it was the same time I met Fresh. So ever since I've been
we go back a long way. 20 plus years.
Oh yeah. But I was excited when we talked too because we're going to do a gig October 5th.
October 5th, yes, at Shabeens. We're going to have a very interesting evening where I've basically rented Shabeens for the night.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to pay the musicians myself. This is a thank you to the owner, Andy, for all the times he's had me play. Thank you to him. So it's going to be sort of like a Monterey Pop Festival with a couple of bands and different solo artists.
Okay.
Like Tony and some other cats. And
just call me Tony.
Yeah, Tony. Well, that's how you're listed there. If I was to put Anthony, people go, who's that? So it's going to be a mix of solo artists, a band called Next Step, and then a group that I play with called, I'm calling them the Thursday Night Band. I have a friend of mine coming out from Venice, California, who is a studio drummer. He's played with some of the guys in Frank Zappa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Jeez.
So it's going to be pretty intense playing. And there's no charge, no cover, so come on down.
I was telling Dollar that I was at Shabeens on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, wow.
You know, I went down there with my friend Sarah, and we checked out all that stuff and like the bands there. And that's what I was telling Tony, that one of the bands that was there, they were like, they had a sign and it said tapes and CDs for sale. And I was like, tapes? I was like, okay, CDs is stretching it. Tapes though? I was like, geez, man. I was like, wow.
Do you have anything to play a cassette tape on? I'm just curious.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Do you have anything you can play a cassette tape on?
I do. Yeah, I have
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, I have a dual Sony cassette deck. Yeah. And the cool
like a
thing
receiver,
is,
like a receiver?
No, it's cassette deck.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. And I have the ability to hook it up.
So you can actually record, right? You can like make copies and stuff like that? No?
I can make copies. So people come over to me and, they'll say, how much do you charge to take this old cassette and to burn it onto a CD so I don't lose it? And we work out, something that's
moving it from a cassette to a CD.
Wow.
Because I tell them, cassettes, sometimes the capstan little thing that spins gets locked and
Yeah.
It's
for sure. And we laugh about it and everything, but then because my first thought is just make an MP3, just keep it digitally. But then you realize like if everything goes down, where's your stuff at?
Yeah.
How are you going to play it?
Yep.
Damn, dude. But yeah, no, when we went to the Shabeens, I hadn't been Shabeens in years and years and years, and I was like, and it was packed obviously because St. Patrick's Day, and it was crazy there. But I was telling Dollar about it, and I was going to ask you about it because like one of my really great friends, Sarah, her mom used to play at Shabeens all the time, and this is probably about the time you were playing, and like her band was called the Hot Toddy.
Oh yeah, we wanted to ask.
Have you ever heard of them?
I recall them. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was
Wow.
That was.
Oh my God! Yeah, I see. And see, I came from California, so a lot of those groups I don't remember.
Sure. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was in Los Angeles. I didn't come out here until March 1994.
Okay.
So in March of '94 is when you came to Colorado for the first time. Had you been here before, or it was just?
Oh my God!
And what brought you out? How did you end up moving out here?
Well, I lived in Northridge, California, and my first wife and I lived right in the epicenter of the earthquake. January 17, 1994.
Yep.
Our house was demolished almost, but we had insurance, so we were able to get it fixed, and my first wife freaked out. It was really PTSD. She wanted to move to Staten Island, New York, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to Staten Island. Probably get my tennis shoes thrown up on a telephone pole. So I said, well, I got some family who live in Boulder. I've never been there, and I don't think there's earthquakes there. She says, I don't care as long as there's no earthquakes. So we moved to Boulder.
Wow.
Moved to Boulder, Colorado, and I commuted. I got a job within 4 weeks because I was in managed healthcare, which was about 5 to 7 years ahead of Colorado.
The economy wasn't bad then either.
Mm-hmm. And so I'd commute every day from 47th and Valmont all the way down to 6th and Grant. Every day.
And I imagine it looked so different here. None of this was here.
Oh, no.
Where we're sitting right now was a big prairie.
Yeah, it's true.
And I always carried bus passes with me because, here's a Southern California boy. It's like, oh my God, what is this white stuff?
Yep.
You're from California.
Oh, I know. Well, I've told the story about it. My dumbass was walking around in flip-flops, slipped, and just tore my damn toenail off, bleeding all over the place trying to pick up a pizza.
Yep.
Yeah.
7 and 8 and 9. Yeah, that'll be enough.
Yeah. Do you have any napkins? Because I'm bleeding all over your floor. So you moved to Boulder.
Yeah, moved to Boulder and lived there for about 2.5 years. Then moved down to Highlands Ranch, lived there. Sadly, the marriage finally ended after 24 years. And I was like, well, what do I do? So I met this beautiful woman, Michelle, online.
Really? You guys met online?
No, we met online.
Wait, year is this?
This was in July 2003. So this was a brand new thing.
So you and Mish got together almost the exact same time that me and Myra got together.
So the site that I met her on was called eMode, which we believe became eHarmony.
Okay.
Okay, and so everyone's telling me, well, Dave, you'll end up meeting a girl at a gig or something. I'm like, well, I got a 6-year-old daughter. I'm not looking for a groupie. I'm looking for someone who can be a partner and stepmother to Stephanie, my daughter. By the way, my daughter Stephanie,
she's a
paramedic.
Yes, I remember.
She's been doing that for 9 years
now. 9? I was going to say, what's it been, 4 or 5 years? 9 years.
9
Holy
years.
Shit.
Yeah, 9
she's
years.
still enjoying it, obviously, if she's doing it.
She saves lives.
Yeah. Talk about having a purpose.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you came, so you ended up settling. When did you move to Aurora?
I moved to Aurora.
Because I think that's where you were when I met you, I think.
Yeah, I moved to Aurora in April 2005. Misha and I had been dating since July of 2003, but we started to get serious, so I moved in with her in April 2005. The next year, January 28th, 2006, we got married. A year after that, I had to go to Swedish hospital, January 12th, 2007, very sick. And they put me in a coma for 3 weeks. And they're telling my family he has maybe 40 minutes to live.
And how old are you at this point?
I was 50.
That's right around the corner for me.
Mm-hmm. So to be here today with you guys is really a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I keep working on music. I have 3 official CDs out and 4 full MP3 like albums, and they are through DistroKid, and I do a lot of work through that company. It saves me a lot of money, and so I go that way. And I have 2 SoundClouds, The Fresh Experience and Wilbur Knox. And
talk to me about Wilbur Knox. Where did that name come from?
Oh, okay. Wilbur Knox. So I got hacked on Facebook really bad. That was about 2 years ago. And I lost 13 years of my Facebook stuff under David Freshman. Gone. And what these people did is they took my phone number, they took my email, and they were posing as David Freshman. And I'm getting messages, like the day after I got hacked, I got over 100 messages, emails, phone calls.
People saying that they were getting weird stuff from you.
David, do you need $1,000? Are you sick? I'll send you money, because I have a lot of very close friends. And I'm like, what? Yeah, we're getting these messages saying that you're sick and you need money right away. I said, oh, no. So Facebook was not able to help me at all. So
That's weird that Facebook doesn't help in those situations, right?
Not at all.
There's like, oof.
Nope.
Sorry.
I tried to contact them to no avail.
Huh.
So I lost 13 years of my original account, David Freshman. So
that's a lot of pictures and memories and
gone. So I was not going to go back on Facebook ever again. But a lot of people are like, wow, we want to hear your music. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go under an alias. So Wilbur, Wilbur, comes from Mr. Ed's owner. Wilbur.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Knox, Knox, comes from Goldfinger, because Goldfinger was trying to knock off Fort Knox. Yeah. So I took Wilbur and Knox and put them together.
It came with Wilbur Knox. That's hilarious. Yeah,
so
I always wondered where the hell that came from.
They're like, hey, Wilbur, how you doing? I'm fine, man.
Wilbur. That's not a very popular name anymore. Have the name Wilbur. I'd rock that.
Yeah.
What's up, Mike and Wilbur?
Mike and Wilbur show.
Mike and Wilbur. We'll be right back. We have a special announcement from G.I. Joe Bubblegum.
Yeah, it does kind of sound like that would be a good ad for the Mike and Wilbur show.
Nick at Night commercials.
That's gone. Mike and Wilbur. Wilbur.
I used to watch that when I was a kid. Like Nick and
so
Night.
That's how that comes about.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Ed. We used to watch all the old stuff.
Yeah, I've seen it for sure, but I don't remember who
Martian. My favorite Martian, Mr. Ed.
Was my favorite Martian, was that who was in that? Never mind, I'm thinking of Mork and Mindy. I was thinking of Robin Williams.
Yeah, that's 70s.
Yeah.
Like my favorite Martian, that's like 50s, 60s.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
My favorite Martian.
That's like the same time as Mr. Ed. like all those.
Yeah, they were in the 60s.
What about like Leave It to Beaver and stuff? Was that around that time?
Yep.
Okay, same time frame.
Leave It to Beaver actually started. Here's the history of that. It was started on 1957. Started on a channel called Heinz, owned by the Heinz family.
Okay.
And they wanted to do this, and they tested it out, and it was popular. So I forget what station, might have been CBS, picked it up for 6 seasons. So it ran from 1957 to 1963. That's the history of Leave It to Beaver.
And it was the Heinz family, the ketchup people.
That is correct.
Wow.
That is true.
It's really weird. So that's interesting because I was sitting here thinking how weird it is that over time, how media has changed, right? Looking at shows from the 50s, 60s, and then the 70s. Now we're in the internet phase where everything's online and streaming. Yeah, all this kind of stuff. It's just so wild how much it's changed, and then to realize too, like what we watched, what entertained us in the 50s versus what entertains us now. The progression's been pretty fucking insane, right? Yeah.
So I'll tell you a story about Leave It to Beaver that is true. Back in those days, they could not film a toilet. And there is a scene in one of the episodes where Beaver accidentally puts one of his little pets, it might have been a gopher or something, in the toilet tank.
A pet gopher.
Okay? And the producers were having a very difficult conundrum
of how to shoot the scene
to film this.
Yeah.
So they ended up filming the very top of the tank, not the toilet seat. Because the censors back then were so careful about stuff. This is now the 50s and early 60s, a different time.
Now they have that, what's that Skibbity toilet thing that all these kids watch? The character's literally a toilet.
Oh my God.
that captures it in a nutshell where we've gone from the 50s till now. They wouldn't even film, barely filming the top. It was probably controversial that they even did that. Yeah. And now they have a show called Skibbity Toilet that kids watch, and the characters are toilets that are alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Fresh is right.
Yeah.
It was the very first the part of the toilet was visible in 1957.
Yeah.
Because
they had a story about Leave It to Beaver, and I loved the show. I mean, I was just a little boy, and so I was fascinated by this, and I'm like, and they had sort of like the behind the scenes of this show. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh, that's pretty nifty.
Amazing.
Yeah.
They also had one of these on Gilligan's Island too.
That was a cool show. I did watch Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, and they had behind the scenes.
Oh, that would be really neat.
Yeah, so the standards and practices groups.
Yes. Yeah, fascinating stuff.
Yeah, and so like they were all, back in the day they were called WCs for water closets.
Water closets, that's right, Mike.
Yeah.
That's what they called toilets back then?
Oh, bathrooms.
Oh, bathrooms. Water closets?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Water closets.
Yep. Water closets. Yep.
And then it says here too that even as late as the mid 1970s, the Brady Bunch, which they all ran from 69 to 74, they all shared a single bathroom. All the kids, right? They didn't show a toilet at all in the bathroom.
No, the channels were driven by sponsorship.
Of course.
So many of these sponsors adhered to family values.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there were things that the public felt was too risque, they would write in and say, we don't like this. You don't see this so much today.
I'm going to write a letter to Skibbity Toilet.
Exactly.
You need to remove this from YouTube,
this
please.
This is the Mike and Wilbur show.
That's us in another dimension, I feel like.
Exactly. Beam me up. I
Interesting.
should have only taken half.
It's so interesting. You got a lot of history locked in your head over there, buddy.
So it was the episode is called Captain Jack. And what it was that Beaver ordered a genuine Florida alligator.
Oh, that's what it was.
For $2.50 from an advertisement published in their Robot Men of Mars comic book.
And it was just a tiny baby when he got it.
Yeah, and so they didn't want to leave it in their room because they didn't want, Beaver's mom to find it. So they were trying to keep it in the toilet.
Wow.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I thought it was a gopher. Yeah,
and his name was Captain Jack.
Captain Jack. Yeah, Wally was the co-conspirator. He would help the beeve all the time.
Yeah. Damn, that's so crazy thinking back on. And can you imagine cameras back then when they were filming too? Those big ass, bulky things. Yeah. It's like giant tape. You could literally physically mess up the tape or something and lose your footage.
Oh, yeah. If it was exposed to the sunlight, yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was most surprised that the Hines family purchased, like, the pilot. And then from there, it did pretty well. And it didn't catch on. The show did not catch on originally. No, it did not. It was through syndication that it started to become popular. But originally it was a little too strange for the American public in 57.
What was the Leave It to Beaver show? Mm-hmm. Was strange to the American public.
Back then it was. Mm-hmm.
I guess when you stop and think about it, I wonder, when did shows start? We always talk about the beginning of film and movies and stuff. Did shows would have started with broadcast television, I guess.
Well, color TV,
or even radio, right? Because there was
radio was
audio
first.
shows.
Radio was first, but color TV guys became popular right around the time when I was born, 56. Okay, that's when color TV first started to become affordable to more affluent families. So on a block, you would get one family who was pretty affluent to buy a TV, and they would invite their neighbors to watch.
It's funny, it was like a social event almost.
Yeah, true story.
So different than what it is now. People put their earbuds in and sit in a corner.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I remember it. I mean, I remember the day I had just come back from school. It was November 22nd, 1963. Okay? You know what day that was?
22nd, 1963?
November 22nd, 63.
Inauguration of a president wouldn't be until January. I don't know. What was it?
Vietnam?
No. It was the day JFK was murdered.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
Yes. So I had just come back from grade school. In 63, I was in third grade. So at that time, I was 8 years old. 8. I come in and my mother is sobbing. It's about 3:15, 3:20 in the afternoon. She goes, "Honey, sit down." And she's just sobbing. And she said, "I want you to watch this. This is changing the whole course of our country."
How old were you again?
Forget it. November 22nd, 1960.
No, how old were you?
I was 8.
You were 8, and she wanted you to see the assassination video?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
This was very heavy.
Yeah.
Imagine your children.
Did she set you up, though? She was like, hey, so somebody shot the president today. Here's what you're about to watch, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you know who was the newscaster? Walter Cronkite.
Holy shit. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Walter
Cronkite. I remember.
And so what happened? How'd you react to it? What were your thoughts as a young boy?
I was young, and I didn't quite understand the ramifications of what this was doing to our country.
How old again were you?
I was 8.
Sorry, we made it. He said it 3 times.
Yeah.
Now.
8
He
years
said it,
old.
and then I asked him, and then he asked him.
And so you're pretty aware of stuff. I mean, you're in third grade, but at the same time, you're not quite understanding the depth of this
And all the implications and how it's going
all
to change the world.
Good
Sure.
word, yeah. The ripple effects, so to speak. And so, my mom and I talked for a while, and I tried to console her. Here I'm a little boy, And let's see, my mom is 19 years older. She's gone now. So my mom was 27 years old at that time. 27.
Super young.
Mm-hmm. I remember all these things.
Yeah.
Quite amazing. But this
That
was
is crazy.
Do
Yeah.
you remember anything when you were 8 years old?
I'm trying to think of how old. What year was the Challenger? I think I was older.
76.
No.
No.
Challenger's in 80.
Oh, 86. When it
Eight-
exploded?
Okay,
Yeah.
so I would have
It was
been
86. I was at Cal State Northridge.
So I would have been 7 years old when that happened, and I remember that very clearly.
Yeah.
That was on my birthday.
I was
Yeah.
in 86.
So if I
at
was
Cal
at
State
7,
Northridge.
you weren't even in school yet, huh?
No.
Okay, so you don't know this then, but you probably know this. What they did with the Challenger, I remember it was a big event that day at school,
Huge.
and so they literally wheeled out the cart, and it was the old school tube television that was sitting on top of it, and they played it, and we all watched it live. And I remember when it like exploded or whatever, just the teachers didn't know what to do. They were like,
There was a teacher on there.
yes, that's a big
Woman.
part of the reason why we were watching it.
Yeah.
And then when the thing exploded and everybody was freaking out on TV, the teachers kind of like, they like turned it off, unplugged it, and then just literally went right back to our lesson like nothing happened. And we were all like, wow, what the hell? Yeah, so I remember that. I was about 8. I was 7.
Yeah.
I would have been 7 then. So what is that, first grade? Second grade? Something like that.
Yeah.
Second grade, yeah.
I was at Cal State Northridge, and we're watching this, and they just stopped. The school just shut down that day. Just
Yeah, for any
Shut down.
young listeners, the Challenger was a NASA rocket that exploded. Or it's a rocket, right? Is that what we call those? And it exploded on takeoff in
I
the
was
sky.
walking between classes from a computer class to my marketing class, and they had these TVs on because this was a big thing,
Yeah.
right? You
Yep.
know, Cal State Northridge, it's university. And it's like, oh my God. And you could see it live. It was right there in your face.
Yeah, we've sat there as second graders going, did those people just die? Okay, guys, go ahead and take out your math books. Like, what?
Exactly.
Like, why'd you turn it off? We want to know what happens.
We're going to be dealing with hypotenuse,
What about you, Chris?
Pythagorean theorem.
Do you have any memories? You're 3 years younger than me, so I guess that would have been a little young.
Yeah,
because
I
you would
was
have been
like 4 years old.
Yeah, you were like a preschool or not even in school, probably.
More interested in getting an Oreo cookie or something. With
So
some
I was
milk.
pretty interested. I was still pretty interested in Oreos in second grade for sure.
Riding my big wheel, just hanging out. You know?
Just hanging out.
4
They
years
didn't
old, I
have
did a whole lot.
mega stuff. You'd have to open up about 6 cookies and
Yeah.
stuff them together.
But that did happen
Oh,
on
that's
my
one of my
birthday, though.
secrets.
What happened on your birthday?
The Challenger. So it was on
Really?
January 28th.
January 28th?
Yeah.
I never put 2 and 2 together. That's wild.
That did happen on my birthday.
You're like, come on.
Yeah.
What a bummer. I'm turning 5 today.
And
4
back
today.
in the day, before they extended the football season, like the Super Bowl would be always like on or like before my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
So
So
the
you really
Broncos-
know firsthand. You notice
Yeah.
more than most of us how they've moved the Super Bowl
Oh
time.
yeah. Like I remember the Broncos played the 49ers.
Wow.
On my birthday, and they lost to the 49ers 55-10 on my birthday. Yeah, I remember that one.
You know, a big historical memory that stands out was 9/11.
Yeah,
We were all
discussed that. Yeah,
we were all old enough to remember. Where were you when 9/11 happened, Fresh?
I was on my way to Great West Healthcare.
On your way to work.
Great West over on Orchard.
Okay.
And that's when I lived at Highlands Ranch,
Okay.
Colleen. And all of a sudden they broke in on the news, the radio, what was happening. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Mm.
And so I get to work, and they tell all of us that we have to leave. Now, Great West Healthcare at that time had roughly about 3,700 to 4,000 employees. So it was a mass exodus from that parking garage in all the parking garages.
Wait, that's one place? How many were there?
Close to 4,000.
Oh, my God.
No. We had 3 towers.
So what a cluster getting out of there that morning.
3 towers. Oh, yeah. It took over 2.5 hours.
And they just did it because, just everybody
were
takes the day.
terrified of repercussions. No one knew what was going to happen.
I remember for a while everybody thought there was multiple planes still.
Oh, yeah. No one knew what was going to be the next thing. Mm-hmm. We were hearing stuff like Aurora has Buckley Air Force Base, and that's going to be a target. There is really serious shit going down. Well, let's not mince words. Yeah. We didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, nobody knew, yeah.
So they asked all of us to leave. They brought in what are the police in that area? Greenwood Village.
Yeah, the
Greenwood Village police came in and were directing traffic. And oh my God, it was a nightmare. It took about 2.5 hours to get out of the parking garage.
Oh, oh man. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. The one thing I will say,
all home.
The one thing that I will say, that I remember when I was a kid, you said that they brought out the TV for the Challenger or anything like that.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, they brought out the TV for this stupid OJ verdict.
Oh my God.
I remember it specifically.
That was 95.
It was it was in 95, but it was October, but they brought out the TVs. So and all the teachers were had to the TVs, watching the OJ verdict, and
wow,
I was not guilty. Everyone was like,
So in 95, had you started high school, or you were in last year of middle school?
Middle school, yeah. Okay. Last year of middle school, and 8th grade.
Yeah, damn, that's funny. What a wild case that's without that. I wonder, do you still have the Kardashians? Do they still develop this
because of the dad and his
because the case that was he was kind of famous, right? He was an amazing lawyer.
Yeah.
But that case exploded his recognizability, and he became this giant thing, and then it paved the way for this Kardashian
thanks,
empire.
OJ.
Yeah, thanks, OJ.
Yeah, exactly.
Rest in peace. He was wild with that, the OJ thing. Have you seen any of this stuff recently? Me and Mike have talked about it. About he'll just be on social media, or he was, before he passed, just saying basically just acting everybody knows I did it.
Yeah, I heard a lot of that stuff through the grapevine, and I'm just going to reserve comment. I think he was a miscarriage of justice. That's all I'm going to say.
100%. No, I agree. I think everybody knows he did it, bro.
If the glove doesn't
fit, got away with murder.
If the glove doesn't fit,
he did.
You must acquit.
Yeah, he's I don't know.
And here's the sad thing. Here's a guy who at one point was looked up to by children.
Oh yeah,
and by parents.
He was in all the Naked Gun. He was in all the Naked Gun films. He was funny.
I mean, why would a human being do that?
Well, I think something was wrong with him for sure. I mean, remember he got in trouble for breaking in and stealing his own paraphernalia from that dude.
Oh yeah,
that's how he ended up in jail
again. Yeah,
yeah. You're like, what the hell?
Wasn't
bro?
that in Las Vegas or something?
He did
some kind of stupid thing,
some crazy thing. That's what I mean. He wasn't quite right. Maybe all the years of CTE, yeah, something. It was just really crazy. He actually wanted to write a book and put it out. Literally, he wanted to call it "If I Had Done It."
Yeah,
and his the publishers and his agent and everybody was like, "Are you stupid? You're gonna go to jail if you put this book out." But he wanted to. He was that much about putting it in everybody's face, which was crazy to me. Remember, he'd make those the stabbing motions with his hand on social media while he's live streaming and stuff. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, he was messed up in the head.
It's also a perfect example of how the justice system is not really
it's broken.
Yeah, it's completely broken.
It's just broken. That's a whole other topic. That and other things.
Yeah, I'm reading a book right now called The New Jim Crow, and it's talking about how that's essentially what the prison system has become. It's like the new Jim Crow. Because if you look at the rates of African Americans and other minorities in prison, that's who's in prison, bro.
Yeah.
There's so few, in comparison, white people. And so you just realize it's like this system of oppression that's just, it was a long time ago when they had to stop being blatant about it, because it used to be really open and honest. It was just like, yeah, no, black people can't do this. And then the whole thing after World War II, we had
13th Amendment and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it was after World War II that we had to look at ourselves with like the Olympics. All eyes were on us, and we're like talking shit about how people need to treat their, you have to, we stand for freedom and liberty and all this stuff. And then we have all this oppression happening right here.
There's a word for that. You know what the word is?
Hypocrite.
There you go. Yep, exactly. With a capital H.
Yeah, completely hypocritical. Yeah, so it forced them to change. But then all that started happening was, I think it was the birth of what Tyson on here always used to talk about, was just like that in the, he was the one of all of us that predicted for sure that Trump was going to get elected. The first time we were all like, there's just no way this guy's going to become president. He's you're fired guy. Like, this isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And he said there's a large network of, people that are just not talking about it. And they're quiet.
Underground Trump fans.
Yeah. And it's like like good old boys and a lot of like, racism, underground racism, where people just don't show it anymore. They can't let it out or whatever publicly because it's not okay or whatever. It's not PC, but they're still there. And then when he got elected, it was clear. And what was interesting from him is he was always a Democrat, right?
Yeah.
He was always like, he was never a conservative or a Republican or anything. And then all of a sudden he was like appealing to these guys and like mentioning little lines of, rhetoric and his lines that would hinted at racist things and hinted at this stuff. And you're just like,
well, he just recently he's like been recently in the bad limelight again for the military stuff.
Are you talking about Tyson?
No, Trump. Because he was at Arlington.
Oh boy.
The cemetery, and like you're not allowed to film or do pictures and stuff like that. Like while you're in there for political campaigning, and one of the political ads that is out there is with him like at Arlington and this and that, and they're like, "It's not.
You're not supposed to be filming.
That's a federal
offense.
Federal offense, yeah."
Sheesh.
And then no, it doesn't. Yeah, above the law, dude.
People don't
well, like
realize.
You were saying about the broken justice system, and it does. It works. It works marvelously for people who have lots of money.
Yeah, that is correct.
Like when me and Tony were talking one time in the past, like if me and Tony would have been caught with like 38 felony offenses, we're definitely going to jail. Me and Tony are definitely going to jail.
We'd all be going to jail, yeah. But look at it this way, guys. Okay, so people, if you're knowledgeable about how the birth of America came about, we had, from the very get-go, violence and revolutionaries who were trying to get an understanding of how to properly develop freedom. But the first thing, and I've studied this quite a bit, the first thing that was a major crime is they completely squashed the Native Americans that lived here. Mm-hmm. They came into Plymouth, Massachusetts, and there was already indigenous people living there, and they immediately put them into, we're the top dogs, you're the slaves.
Yeah. It was interesting. What did I see yesterday? I watched some video that was talking about.
Could I get some water?
Yeah, absolutely. Here, we can.
Okay.
We'll pause this. Remind me that's where I'll.
Sorry. Yeah, I gotta stay really hydrated, guys.
Absolutely. I'll grab a glass of water and we'll keep going here in just a minute.
No worries.
And we're back.
People that are getting close to retirement, and they'll say to me, Fresh, you had to sort of technically retire at the age of 2010. Because I tried to go back to work a little bit, and my health was so fucked up. I said, well, look, guys, what I would suggest is, one, work with a therapist, because you're losing a giant piece of your identity in order to make this transition to a new phase of your life. Misha's going through this. So work with a therapist. Second of all, what I was told by my therapist back then, 14 years ago, is he said, David, I suggest you go back to your original passion of music and put your emphasis 100% behind that. I no longer had this big dollar job. I couldn't work anymore. I didn't know I've had 16 major surgeries now. And I thought, okay. He said, what do you love doing? I said, I like to teach. I like to write music. I like to perform. I like to record. He said, do that. I'm a voracious reader of all sorts of stuff. Right now I'm reading a book called Walking with the Medicine Wheel. It's about vets and anyone who's been through trauma and understanding the Indian sagely ways of living life. Walking with the Medicine Wheel. And it's giving me all sorts of new ideas.
Yeah.
So I tell people, look, keep reading, keep learning, choose a passion that you love. Mish loves photography. So I said, well, look, you could do that and sell your pictures to people that do marketing brochures and shit. She said, Dave, there's no end to the things that you could do, the way you think. And I said, no, I think on multi-levels. That's the way I was taught. So someone said, you could have been a doctor with that book and shit. And I said, I wouldn't want to do something like that. I'd rather fucking rock out and get people hot and sweaty.
Yeah, you were telling us before the show that the ladies still come at you.
Yeah, they do, man. They're fucking wild because they're drunk or loaded. They're lonely. They could have gone through a divorce recently or broke up with their guy, and they see a guy up there rocking out with a suit, moving like an animal. And, I've had some of these chicks, they'll walk up and just grab my dick. It's like, excuse me, I'm not kidding. I'm like, hey. And they'll say, just like this, well, is your wife here? I said, no. Well, okay, so I'm horny. Do you like to fuck? Let's just go back and fuck.
Does this happen regularly?
Oh, God, yes. It's weird.
Wow.
They're like, you don't look 68 and you're in good shape and, you're thin and you move fucking like an animal. And, it's like, well, my heart belongs to this lady. Well, I don't see her here. When they're horny and they're drunk, there's no parameters. There's no boundaries for them.
Yeah,
none.
Alcohol definitely has that effect on people.
Oh yeah. They get drunk.
When I used to bounce,
are we online?
Yeah.
We are. Oh wow.
When I used to,
oh my God.
When I used to bounce at the club, that was the one of the lines. Like when you talk to the ladies, it's like, well, I have a boyfriend, or I have a husband, and it's like, it's all mind over matter, baby. Like, what? If you don't mind, he don't matter.
That is so wild. How does Mish feel about it? How does she take that stuff?
She's seen it firsthand. She was like, unreal. But what happens is these ladies get drunk. Sometimes they're on other substances too.
Sure.
And they have needs. They're lonely. They're depressed.
Sure.
They see a musician playing music that touches them in some way. And they get this notion in their head that, well, I could live vicariously through this cat and get a little bit of dick. And,
Why would you say that?
I mean, Jesus,
so
man. I'm sorry.
No,
just the way it is.
This is an uncensored show.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever you want.
So I mean, I've been doing this since 1966, and back in the day.
When was your first live performance that you actually?
My first live performance was in '68 at a YMCA dance in Beverly Hills.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. We would do stuff like "Sugar, Sugar."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Archies. Sugar, honey, honey.
Yep.
We would do Creedence Clearwater. We would do
favorites.
Motown. We would do Beach Boys. We would do Chuck Berry. We do Rolling Stones. I mean, I cut my teeth. I've been playing guitar a couple years, so I knew how to play decently. I didn't know how to play lead yet.
Yeah.
I could play chords. And I played with a buddy of mine who passed away from cancer. His name was Barry Chase, beloved friend of mine. And Barry and I would, do stuff and just rock. And, we had a good little band. And here's the thing. Okay, so it's 1968, and we would get paid for a 5-piece band between $50 and $60. Now, back in 1968, that kind of money was equivalent to about $200 or more today. So what was the average allowance? 25 cents, maybe 50 cents. And here I am in a 5-piece band, and I've just made $10 for an hour and a half. You can do the math.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm thinking, this is not a bad way to go.
yeah, absolutely. And that's how it started,
just kept staying with
and
it.
You were never a singer, right? Not back in the day. Not your thing.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No.
But you worked with some really phenomenal singers over the years.
You being one of them. And, a lot of cats. And back in 1973, my band opened up for Foghat, the original Foghat.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
In 1974, I was on tour, and I had gone to Europe, and it was in August, and I met the guys in Thin Lizzy at the Marquee, and I'm having a drink at the bar with their lead guitar player, Scott Gorman, who is from Los Angeles, too. And we both had long hair. You saw the picture of me, so that's what I look like.
Yeah. I'm curious, who is the best vocalist you've ever worked with? Take me out of the picture just so we don't make it weird. But I'm very curious, who's the best technical singer that you've ever played with?
That would be Danny Vigil.
Danny Vigil. Okay. Tell me about
Danny Vigil. So Danny is a great singer, and he's actually on my most recent song, See the Heroes, which is about a jerk who thinks he's the king of the world. He just thinks he's the coolest guy in the world. And he misses the point of the real heroes, who are teachers, nurses, soldiers, doctors, plumbers, good police.
Who is it that has that quote? There's a sports commentator that said that a couple years ago. It got memed like crazy, where he was saying that there's only a few real jobs. No, it was Shaq. I think it was Shaq actually. This was saying that there's only a handful of real jobs, and it was naming the ones you just said. You're referring to them as heroes, but he was saying that's a real job. Anything else is not.
Yeah. So, See the Heroes is a song that I wrote the music and about 65% lyrics. Danny finished them off, and he sings. We have Walter Holland on flute. We have a gentleman named Christian Teal on percussion. I'm playing acoustic piano, bass, and acoustic guitar. And it's a beautiful song that really has been well received. And here's the coolest thing. I took a jump drive, and went over to the Aurora Fire Department number 10 and gave them the song. Because I put it on a jump drive. I said, guys, thank you. This number 10 is over on Tower, and they've come to my house 3 times to save my life. They recognized me when I went in there.
Wow.
Okay? So I gave the guy the jump drive, and he said, David, would you mind if we share this with other fire departments? I said, no, that's why I wanted you to have it on a jump drive. So you can pass it around or whatever way you want for you guys as a thank you.
Damn, that's pretty
True
cool.
story.
Yeah.
It was Charles Barkley.
Oh, it was Charles Barkley.
Yeah. So it says there's only 5 real jobs in the world: teacher, fireman, policeman, doctor, and somebody who is in the armed forces.
Yeah. So,
Says if you don't have one of those 5 jobs, you shouldn't really take your life that serious.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Okay.
yeah, exactly. A lot of people don't see that. When you watch the news, the first thing you're bombarded with is all this violence. I don't watch the news anymore except for the weather. That's all I watch. Or the Food Channel. Love the Food
What's your
Channel.
go-to? I'm just curious. What do you like watching on the Food Channel? What kind of stuff do you enjoy?
Well, my favorite is Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a
Guy
great one.
Fieri,
Yeah.
It is a good
I like Beat Bobby Flay. I like Triple Threat. I like Tournament of Champions when they have that.
I like Food Truck Race.
Oh, God, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Tyler, man, he just
Yep.
$25 for this?
You ever seen that dollar?
No, I
The
haven't.
great
Oh my
Food Truck
God, it's
Race?
great.
Yeah. So it's
What's the idea? Yeah.
So it's like what do they start off with, like 12 something like that food trucks?
Yeah, there's like 12
trucks.
people that, yeah.
Yeah, there's 12 food trucks, and it's just a race. But basically, who has the best food truck? And they have different challenges. So they make your best,
Right.
seafood dish or whatever, or make your best, like baseball themed food, stuff.
And
like
so they
that.
all make a variety of food. They're
Yeah,
just,
so
they're
it's
not
all
specific
different
types of
Yeah,
food.
it's not specific types. Like there's Indian food, it's like a taco
And
truck or
sometimes
something
Tyler
like that.
will give them a certain kind of ingredient to use.
that they have to work with.
That they have to
Yes.
work, yeah. And then they, you're also like competing for like extra time too, because like sometimes like they'll get like if they win like a tasting competition, right? So they have like judges, and whoever wins like a portion of that, like you guys get 2 hours extra on the road to be out there and start selling, because it goes by sales by the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Who sells the most food and stuff like that. So,
Gotcha. And what's it called? Food truck races?
Food truck race, yeah. The Great American Food Truck Race, yeah.
Yeah, a great food truck race. They usually have it right around summer,
Yeah. Yep.
around summertime.
And so, yeah, what they're doing $2, it's like they have some people that are like brand new at the food truck game, right? And then they have like some people that are like veterans,
Right,
that have done it
right.
for a while. But on this thing, it's like it's a fine line, right? Because you want to have the most money basically at the end of the day.
Sure.
And so is it either like you're gonna have like a dish that's like, super cheap and you can
Now,
sell a lot of
Mike,
them?
What
units?
is the
Yeah.
prize? Tell them what happens if the head winner.
Yeah, so
Tell 'em
the
about
head
that.
winner gets obviously their like a revamped truck and stuff like that. And
Oh, shit.
Don't they get like $100,000 or something?
No,
like that?
$50,000.
$50,000.
$50,000
Yeah.
cash, and they get to have that food truck that
Yeah.
they've been driving
Revamped.
for 6 weeks.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, right?
yeah. So it's pretty good. It's a little.
That's great.
Interesting. I'll
Yeah.
check it out. That's up my
Oh
alley.
my
I like
God,
food shows too.
fantastic.
But yeah, so yeah, they do like I said, there's different competitions. Sometimes it's not just like the amount of food, like the amount of dollars. Sometimes it's the most units.
Yeah.
So like if whoever sells the most units of the special dish, like they have to have a special dish.
Yes.
And it's like if you sell the most units of the special dish, you guys win.
And some of these dishes that these guys
How much can
come
they-
up with are amazing.
yeah.
How much can they mess with the price point and stuff though?
Well, that's the thing. That's what I was saying. That's the fine line, right? Because you do want to have the most money at the end, but if you make things too expensive, people don't want to buy it.
Right. So you might be taking them super cheap. You're winning these little moving items things,
Yeah.
but at the end you're broke because everybody else is making more money than
Yeah.
you. Ah, interesting.
One
I'll
of
check that out.
the challenges was they had to sell whoever hit 20 units of whatever they were trying to sell first. So they set the price at $5. Now, you remember, there's all these different food trucks, and they're all competing, and they're all trying to make the sales. Whoever hits the 20 selling that item at $5 gets like an extra maybe $300 or something like that. Yeah. That's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, like, if you're that team that gets like that extra like hour or 2 hours first, then you're out there. You're out there getting the prime spot. Like, there's there's people competing for like parking spots, and there's like areas like you're not allowed to park.
And this is all in one city that they do this, or are they do them in different cities, or they drive around?
Yeah, they drive around. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's like a double name with the race thing.
Yeah.
Like they're driving around, but they're also having little races.
Yep.
Yeah. For instance, in California, they did one where it was like Los Angeles, then they had to go down to San Diego, and then somewhere else. Then they had to go out to Palm Springs, all over.
Okay. So they got them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So they set up routes and stuff. For them.
So different places, but
Pretty cool.
trying to find that prime spot, where people are going to get it, and sometimes they'll go into like businesses and like, hey, Can we park in front of your business and we'll work with each other. We'll send people into you and you send people out to us and this and that. And so, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a fun show.
Yeah, you can watch them.
Does the
go
food
online and, look at
I'm sure I'll find it.
food truck race. And you can see old episodes. They're fascinating.
And the host is amazing. Tyler is a great host too. Yeah.
Like one of them they had up in Alaska.
Yeah.
Is the food pretty incredible, by the way?
Well, I mean, it looks incredible. Yeah. The food looks crazy on there. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the part. That's why I like watching the food shows. Yeah. I like watching like when you're just like, oh my God, that is a work of art.
I steal their ideas all the time. Oh my God. I'll give you an idea that Misha and I recently used. So we love corn.
Yeah.
And we like to barbecue it. So what Michael Simon, who's one of the chefs, came up with this idea. He was having a backyard thing with his family. So he cut the corn off. He made them like fingers, but we just kept the cobs. He, instead of using butter, he used mayonnaise, and then he sprinkled it with like a little bit of cayenne and a little bit of garlic, and rolled it up and toasted it on the barbecue. And then he took the tin foil off and let it char for just a little bit. But instead of using butter, used mayonnaise.
Yeah, so it's almost like a elote.
Very cool.
Mine makes that too. She'll do it. Yeah, you can get those in a cup too, the elote cups.
Yeah, the water, it's all shredded.
When I played at what was that, the flea market?
The flea market.
They always have mass elotes over there. It's so good. So good. One of my favorites.
And turkey legs.
Yeah.
Lumpia.
Yeah, for sure. I went and stayed in the Philippines for about a month this summer.
You did?
I did.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. So that was a good time seeing.
What was that like? The Philippines?
Yeah.
Oh my God. A dream.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. We went to some places that were like really touristy and beautiful, clear water and, the pristine beach and all that. But we spent most of our time right in the heart of Angeles City where her family lives. And so, and actually that's not quite true. We wanted to stay there because it's like, I don't know if it's quite distance-wise. It's like Aurora and Denver, like they kind of bleed into each other and people mix them up. But there's San Fernando and then there's Angeles City. And so we were actually in San Fernando, but it was just crazy because every day we would get up and drive into Angeles City. Every single day we did everything over there. So next time we kind of just want to stay there in the thick of it. But to me, that was the most fun.
You got to tell me a lot more about that trip. God, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was fun. I was the tallest guy in the country, fresh.
I could see that.
And I'm not that tall. I'm kind of average, a little above average here, but
Tony was
giant. We offer you some giant prawns.
No, Tony had stewy meat. Meat all day.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Hope they don't listen. I know some of them do actually.
Interesting. We have stewy meat and this is one of Wilbur's favorites.
Wilbur. What the? Yeah, it was. No, it was a really good time. It was hot, but But it was fun. It was good for me because I got to see where Myra grew up.
Beautiful.
She had seen my neighborhood in Fresno where I grew up, so got to go the other way and do that. So it was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, you ever done any traveling like that? You ever been places outside the U.S.?
Oh yeah. I've never been to Asia. Sadly, I wanted to go, but I'm going to tell you guys a story. Okay, so last July, 2023. It's a true story. Polydor, Germany offered me $250,000 to buy all of my CDs and any future releases.
Like rights, publishing rights. And
No, they wanted to own, not rights. They wanted to own all my work.
Well, that's what I mean, though, because each song, right, is a publisher share and a songwriter share, and they wanted the whole thing.
They wanted the whole thing. And they wanted to give me $250,000 as an advance, which means a loan. And starting end of July of last year, 2023, they wanted Mish and I moving to Germany.
Whoa.
They wanted me to put together a band of European musicians. And they had me set up to start a 6-week tour, starting in Holland, Germany, Italy, France, Switzerland, and the UK.
Wow.
I turned them down.
Why?
Yeah, why?
My health. I have no immune system, guys.
Oh, that's right.
I would have been traveling during the heart of the late fall, winter, by coach through like the northern Alps of Italy,
sure,
and Switzerland, and all these places. Now you have to remember, COVID was rampant.
Oh yeah.
And if I had moved with Mish, we would have lost all of our friends. And in October of last year, Hamas attacked Israel. So it was a very dangerous situation. And I spoke to my dad, and my dad said, my dad's only 21 years older than me. He's like, David, you can't do this. He said, that's very nice, and it's nice. I mean, the guy, Eric from Stuttgart, he was like a car salesman. He was pushing me hard. He said to me, we know that you have these SoundClouds that have very high rates of hits. We've heard your music in Europe countless times. We want you on our roster. But we want you moving here. And we want you on this tour. We're going to put a doctor on the tour, and you're going to pay for it.
Oh, jeez.
You got it?
You're too fitty.
Now, I had to be cool. This is a true story. I had to tell them, thank you, but no thank you. This guy called me in January, about 6 months later, still trying to persuade me this year
to move out there. Have you been to Germany?
He said,
before?
We can sweeten the deal. Would you like 300,000? I said, Eric, it's a loan. It's an advance. He goes, yes, it is. I said, so if I don't produce, I know it happens.
You're in a hole of debt.
You got it, darling. I'm not stupid. So I turned it down again, 2 times. My dad said, Dave, it's nice to see that you're getting that recognition, but son, you're 68. You can't do this. So I just accept it. I spend my days quietly with Mish and just enjoy puppy and just,
I'm all about that nowadays. Yeah. I just love having a quiet life and just enjoying
I don't want women pawing at me. I don't want to be in a fucking fishbowl of that. People are like, dude, you're a rock star. I'm like, no, man. A rock star is a teacher. or a soldier or a nurse. That's a rock star. I'm a musician, songwriter, teacher. That's all. Please don't put me on.
Do you miss teaching, by the way?
Oh, terribly.
Was that a hard thing to put behind you?
I cried.
I bet.
I sobbed. But I had to face the hard truth. I can't be around 8 to 10 or 12 children who are sick all the time. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I'm around about 600 a day. So.
Oh, my God. Yeah. You know, if I get sick, it's hospital or... It's the reality.
So do you catch colds and stuff still here and there? And
if I get a cold or a flu, I'm sick for about 2 to 3 months.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
I have no immune system to fight it.
Yeah.
2 months ago, I had cancer. Okay? They found a mole that was malignant. They believed it had spread to my lymph nodes in my neck and my face. So I went through a PET scan at Swedish. They had gotten all the cancer, but they wanted to put me on chemotherapy.
Yeah.
And it was the chemo back in 1977 that killed my heart. So I still get calls from these fucking idiot doctors. David, you're going to have cancer again. We'll bet you $10 million. You really should start chemo right now. That's what I'm still dealing with as we speak.
Is cancer related to the lack of immune system? Cancer?
Totally.
Okay.
Totally. These 3 rejection drugs I take all cause cancer. I can't stop them. If I did, I'd be gone within probably 2 months. I would pass away. So I just keep fighting. I've had this heart 17 years and 4 months. The average heart transplant recipient lives about 6 to 10 years, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
So I have really exceeded this by not smoking.
3 times as much.
Drinking, living a healthy life. They're like, well, Dave, you go into these open mics and you play these big places. I said, it doesn't matter if I have 5 masks on.
Yeah.
Nothing will stop it. Nothing. But I refuse, guys, to not live my life. I'm not afraid to pass away. I'll go to wherever the next place is. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I'm with that for life. You got to live your life, you know.
Yeah,
whatever.
I see so many people like Fresh. If we had what you have, we'd start drinking again. I'd start fucking any chick that I wanted. This is what I'm told. I'd start just partying again, man. I would just go for it. I mean, you're going to die anyway. I'm like, really? How would that make me feel better to cheat on my wife and to throw almost 39 years away of sobriety?
It's going to give you so much more baggage that
what
you
an
deal
idiot. I see this told to me by these people that relapse 8, 9, 10 times, right? Like, dude, keep your fucking advice to yourself. I get pissed. Yeah, I'm just a regular cat. I like to watch, movies with Mish, and we have dinner and breakfast and lunches together when she's off, and we just have a quiet life, man.
Yeah, in today's society, it's kind of what we were talking about before. Is like that's something we've lost touch with. You know what I mean? The important things.
You guys are married. You have children. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was saying back to the Philippines when we were out there. Is like that was something that was really different out there. Was the connection with family and like having meals together, sharing moments and stuff like that was like the most important thing in the world.
Mm-hmm. You see this thing?
What is that?
The life alert.
Yep.
So that's like if there's an emergency, you can hit a button or something on that, and
it would go straight to Misha's work, Security Central. 911 would be here within about 5 minutes.
Wow, that's a good thing to have.
Don't accidentally push it.
Yeah, that would be me. Sorry, guys, it happened again.
Oh, I've pushed it accidentally when I'm playing the guitar.
Yeah,
like, oh boy! And all of a sudden I'm on stage and it's like, David, are you okay? I'm like,
So what happens? They show up, or
no? I just say I accidentally pushed the button.
They talked you through it too.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't really know how it worked.
Oh yeah, you can. They'll immediately. David, are you okay? Do we need to call 911? That's what they'll say.
Oh, jeez.
No, my Les Paul accidentally nicked it. I'm so sorry.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
How many times has that happened?
Oh, it's happened twice. Oh.
Well, at least they talked to you first. I thought you had.
No.
Do you remember that time where were we at? We were playing a show one time.
Oh,
I got pulled off stage.
I remember it. We were at Iliff Park Saloon.
Yeah. Was that what it was?
I'm playing the bass.
Yeah.
And I went down like a rock.
Oh, no, are you talking about when you fell off the stage? I remember that.
Oh, that was at McDonough's.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You were getting crazy. And you know what was funny? He hits the ground, lands on his back, basically. Doesn't miss a beat. He's still playing the bass line.
I do remember that. Yeah,
and that was a pretty good fall, dude. That was
Tim Hall was with us.
Was he? Okay. Step in your mic there so we can hear.
I think that was Tim Hall with us.
Yeah.
We were good, man. We had a lot of fun.
That was a pretty serious fall though, because I mean, how high do you think that was? Like 3 feet, maybe?
Probably.
3.5
and I
feet?
sent you some of my new songs that you like, so you got an idea of what I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Still always writing songs. You got like a million. You know what's also cool? We've talked about this before. He has like every song I've ever written. So he's got like my full catalog.
Like Mo Dog,
yeah. I got to go to him. I'm like, hey, do you have a recording of this one?
I do this because to me, music is life, and it's our posterity. And people will come to me with these cassettes from like whatever, I don't know. This is us rehearsing in a garage, and I really don't want to lose it. I want to give it to my kids. I'm like, okay, so I'll pop it into my Sony cassette deck, and I can hook it right into a CD player. Have a CD?
Yeah, make it into a CD. Yeah. So you still listen to CDs? You got one like a player in your car on your computer or something like that?
And one by my bedside.
Mm-hmm. So you have like an old school actual CD player that you can put a CD in, and it's like a stereo system essentially.
And then I have a 32-track studio, and it can be hooked right up to the CD burner, so I can take the tracks I've been working with and burn a CD directly onto it.
Huh. What kind of studio is that you use, by the way?
It's a Tascam.
Oh, okay.
And then I have a Casio keyboard, a full keyboard that's really nice, and a Lisa's drum machine, and bass, guitar, and Taylor, acoustic Taylor, and the Les Paul, and an American Stratocaster, and I just purchased a Gibson SG.
You know what? You've always liked the Gibsons. I like the Tellys, really, the Fender Telecasters.
Fantastic.
I've had a couple of those. I had that Sunburst one back in the day, a Mexican-made one. It was pretty.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah, you know, when we started recording this podcast, we actually started on a Korg D3200, so it's probably really similar to your Tascam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I remember. That was the one that took so long to bounce, because when you're recording a song, you're probably recording 3 to 7 minutes or something like that. A podcast, you're recording an hour and a half. Wow, it's like a giant ass file, and it takes so long.
Is this a wave?
Well, we record it now through Logic Pro, so. It saves. I can anything I want. I can. Make
I see.
I usually create a wave and an MP3.
Wave and okay, I get it. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, technology is crazy with it too. And the podcast distribution, you literally upload it to your site, and the RSS feed kicks it everywhere. So it's on Apple Music and it's on Spotify. And
so this is one of the things I did with some of my best students. I would invite them and their parents over, and we would make a CD of 2 or 3 songs. And I'd add a little bass. I'd set up a simple drum pattern. And these were kids that had developed enough skill that they could play in time.
Okay.
And they would play their song that I would sort of help them write. It was their song, but they needed a little assistance. And I'd play maybe a little melody line. And we'd make 2 or 3 of these songs and give them to their parents and grandparents.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's fun.
I did about 50 of these.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kind of stuff makes people so
I didn't
happy.
charge them. I just wanted them to get the experience of what a multi-tracked experience is. Mm-hmm. They loved it. And their parents like, well, we'll give you a couple $100 or $100. I said, no. Just enjoy the experience. But what I'm doing is laying the mustard seed.
Mm.
That's what I'm doing.
I like that. Mike, I actually forgot. We're getting down to the end. Do we have fun facts this week?
Yeah.
Oh, we do. All right. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about those fun facts.
Fun facts.
Sorry, I waited so long. We have like 10 minutes.
Yeah. So it's National Trail Mix Day, like trail mix, like snack. National Beach Day too. So a little bit of fun facts in there for that. But trail mix here. Trail mix has been eaten by Native Americans for thousands of years. It originally included some buffalo meat.
Wow, in the trail mix. It's like trail mix with jerky. Somebody should do that.
Right?
Yeah, you could still do that.
Yeah,
I'd try it out for sure.
Sandy beaches are mostly made of silica. So it's in the form of mineral quartz. So, silica is like real fine.
Yeah, that means it was super heated at some point, right? For it to be like that.
Yep.
That's how glass is made.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what, like, whenever you see like sandblasting done, like to remove rust and stuff like that. You ever seen that? They use a silica.
I've never actually seen that. I've heard about it.
Yeah. So,
wow.
So back in the day, keyboards, instead of the QWERTY style that we all have now, they used to be done in alphabetical order. So the keyboards used to be like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like on there.
Wait,
oh my God. Wow.
Wait, I'm trying to understand. Like a normal keyboard.
Yeah.
They used to be set up how?
Alphabetically.
Whoa. I wonder how they landed on the setup. I think about that sometimes because it seems random, right? You look at that top row, it's like QWERTYU. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I wonder if it was developed over time from like.
Are you talking about a computer keyboard?
Yeah, I thought originally I thought he was talking about a piano.
I got confused. I thought you were talking about an instrument.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, first computer keyboard. Okay. Yeah,
I was like, it is A through. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
So August 30, like I said, August 31st is National Trail Mix Day. Let's see here. Cannabis gives you the munchies because it heightens your sense of smell and taste.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everybody knows that. Oh, I know that, sir. Yes, it'll definitely intensify the taste of food.
7 and 8 and 9, yeah, that's enough.
So we are born with 2 natural fears. What are your 2 natural fears that you're born with?
Heights and the dark?
No, the fear of falling and the fear of loud sounds.
Okay, so heights then.
Yeah.
And then loud sounds. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because everybody jerks when there's like a unexpected loud noise.
Yeah. And so everything else you develop throughout.
Sure.
Your experiences in your life and everything like that too. So
interesting, but those 2 are universal.
Yeah, those 2 are universal. Baked beans are not actually baked.
How do they make baked beans?
They're stewed. They're all stewed. All beans are stewed, essentially.
Wow.
So, yeah, baked beans are not actually baked.
What makes them why do they call them baked beans?
I have no idea.
I never thought about that before. You look at them. I always thought there was some part of the process where they're baking them before they put them in the.
Nope. Not at all.
Weird.
Yeah, it works better. Can you imagine Bush's stewed beans?
With some stewed meat.
Yeah, stewed beans. Like stewed meat, $1.
Yeah. Rover likes them.
And Wilbur, too, I hear.
James Cameron, the director who did like Terminator.
Sure.
And
Oh, yeah. World
like
famous.
James Cameron says that there was an agreement at one point to make Alien 5.
Whoa.
He was going to write the script, and Ridley Scott would direct. Fox actually chose instead to make the Alien versus Predator movie, which he thought would ruin the franchise. And after that, he lost all interest in making another.
Whoa.
And so he was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, I can imagine him because he's really good, but I can imagine him being like, that's a stupid idea.
Yeah.
Why are you guys doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The combination of nuts, raisins, and chocolate as a trail mix snack goes all the way back to the 1910s, when outdoorsman Horace Kempfert recommended it in his popular camping guide.
Raisins, nuts, and chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
That is a
winning
good combo.
combination
Yeah.
right there.
Some M&Ms in there. Some
Yes,
raisins.
sure.
Yeah. Some believe that the current form of trail mix was set up by two Californian surfers in 1968.
Go figure. They probably invented granola too.
Wild. Yeah.
According to the Guinness World Records, the tallest sandcastle ever made was constructed in Connecticut in May 2011. It was 37 feet, 10 inches tall.
Come on. It was 3 stories high.
3 stories high, dude.
Oh my God.
I would be so scared. Do people walk into
Don't
it?
touch it!
I wonder if you could walk into it. I wonder if they dug parts of it out. That would be so dangerous.
Yeah.
Sign this waiver, sir. Come see the inside of my gigantic sandcastle that might crush you.
It might crush you, yeah. It's like
Exactly.
it's 37 feet worth of sand. Sorry.
God.
We're in the
Chill.
dining room and we just had an accident.
Yeah.
So you 100% have to have like a ladder or something. When you're
Oh,
making
dude,
that
for
thing.
sure. Wow. For sure.
This is worth some Googling for sure. I'm going to have to look into it.
Antarctica is the only continent without any reptiles or snakes.
Without any what?
Reptiles or snakes.
Well, I could see that.
Yeah.
The only
With
continent.
the cold?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow.
Let's see here. The brain is the fattest organ. The stomach may be our fattest part, but the fattest organ in our brain is our brain. The brain is composed of nearly 60% fat.
Yeah, people underestimate that.
Yeah.
People who really get crazy with the diets and stuff like that
Yeah.
and try to completely eliminate
That's
fat.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely necessary to have it.
Kevin Bacon
Okay.
pays off DJs whenever he goes to weddings so they don't play Footloose. by
So they
Kenny
don't
Loggins.
play it?
Yeah, so they don't play Footloose by Kenny Loggins.
It makes you wonder how many times did that happen to him before he just started paying them off.
Yeah.
Like, please stop.
Please stop. I don't want to do this dance
I don't
anymore.
want to do this. You Kevin Bacon, man. You're stuck with that one for life.
Yeah. And Kenny Loggins, man, he was Mr. Movie back in the day. That's what they called him, Mr. Movie, right? Mr. Movie soundtrack.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because he did Top Gun.
Yeah.
Like all those different things, dude.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
Are you guys aware that there's a new Frasier?
What?
The show?
No, I did not know.
No, I didn't know that either.
The new Frasier. These are brand new episodes, and they're about to start the second season, September 19th.
Huh.
It is on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
Mike, you know-
Frasier has his son, Freddie, who is now grown up. Frasier now lives in Boston, and his son, Freddie, is a firefighter. Okay? On the show, he has cameos of Roz, who still shows up,
Yeah.
and others. Check it out. You
Definitely.
will love it.
I always love that show.
It's
You know what I'm
actually
excited
better
about?
than the first episode, the original. It's better.
Oh, dang.
Huh.
The new, you know my show, Pierce. Remember Ted Lasso?
Yeah.
Coming out with a fourth
Yeah,
season
fourth season,
officially.
I saw it, yeah.
They
Oh
said for sure he wasn't going to do it. Jason Sudeikis. They
So
were like,
does this work in fun facts? yeah. New
yeah.
Frasers.
Which-
Yeah.
working in shows that we like.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pierce.
All right, we're talking about the pressure. You said like the pressure of sand,
Yes.
like coming down on somebody.
Sure.
Well, the pressure of the deepest point in the ocean amounts to more than 11,318 tons per square meter, which is equal to one person trying to hold up 50 jumbo jets. So 50 jumbo jets on your body. Just, I mean, that's not possible. You just-
Come
you know,
on. You can't do that.
Max.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's like what happened with that submarine, right?
You know,
Is it over?
Yeah, that's it. It's episode 203. Tore through that, kind of. We recorded about 6 hours of audio. No, but just thanks to all the listeners supporting us. 203 episodes. Thanks for coming on, David Freshman. I'm looking forward to
Thank you, guys.
doing some playing with you, and you'll have to come back again soon.
He's going to play some music for us off the thing, and we'll maybe post that too, right?
Let's go.
And with that dollar, it is a wrap.
Cheers.